Hey guys, it's Jacob from Starfighters Arcade. We're outside the Sheraton Mesa Hotel where the first annual Starfighters Pinball Festival is taking place. This has been a long time coming and we want to show you guys around, so please, follow me. As the name implies, this festival is all about pinball, and we have plenty on offer to play. Some of you may have recognized machines from the arcade, and you wouldn't be wrong as we brought along our entire pinball selection for this event. So if you see our name on a machine, you'll know who it's from. But we weren't the only ones that brought the games, as many owners, businesses, and enthusiasts lent us their machines for the festival. Over 200 machines in total. Now that's a lot of pinball. One of the main attractions of the festival was our very own Pinball Tournament. A plethora of machines were sectioned off for those 100 or so participants to play for cash and prizes. 3 brackets for all types of players were available, and it was played through a few different means. You'll see a few familiar faces in there. We'll check back with it later when it's getting close to deciding the winners. We've got all kinds of pinball machines for all to enjoy, including some older electromechanical pins that were more fun than you would think. We have Captain Fantastic, which has Elton John doing his best Waldo impression. Royal Flush was another good one. So was Grand Prix. Goes to show even the oldies are still goodies. Not only did we have some old machines, but we also had some of the newest releases from the few pinball companies that remain today. The latest being this Ultraman from Spooky Pinball. I don't know much about the franchise, but this has a multi-level playfield, so that's interesting. Godzilla from Stern was one of the highlights, and I think we had every Jersey Jack pin available, with Willy Wonka being the best in my opinion. If you kept your eye open, you would have seen a few pins that were a little more special than the norm. For example, this baseball table had a unique scoring system. Best advice I can give is to get as many home runs as possible. I noticed there were a couple machines with the same kind of theme. Baseball was one of the predominant themes, especially when it came to the pitch and bat games. 3 were available, and all were fun in their own way. This Matahari was very special as it was a prototype that looked very different from the table that would be released. It even included the highly controversial Nazi slogan on the dagger. Probably not going to see that anywhere else. I personally found some new favorites to look out for in the future. This Spectrum was pretty cool. Doesn't have a plunger, instead having the gimmick of coordinating the 3 silver balls it has. Lethal Weapon 3 gave me Star Wars vibes, which was good. It was made by Data East, so that makes sense. The ones to watch out for were the pins made by Capcom, as there were only 4 or so machines that they made, and we had 2 of them. Did you know Capcom once had a pinball division? With the 200 pins we have at the festival, it's inevitable that problems can arise. Luckily we had some help on hand, and we'd like to thank those at Firebird Pinball and other volunteers for assisting us in keeping all machines in working order. Those weren't the only ones that helped out, as our friends at Tilt Studio, Game On, and other establishments did their best to spread the word of the event. Game Room Goodies brought a selection of the latest machines. Some of them were for sale too, like this Primus pin or Led Zeppelin machine, which I didn't know was a thing, and that price tag is beyond what I could afford. We were also showcasing our business via a special presentation of videos and clips that you can find on this very channel, and we thanked all that were involved while we were at it. If there was a pin or two that may have looked familiar to you but you didn't recognize it completely, you may have seen a custom-made table. This here, the Big Lebowski, was a retheme of Strikes and Spares, and I'd say it made the game just that little bit better, but it's still a great game in its own right. The best custom was this Dukes of Hazzard, done painstakingly by these fine people, and the results were fantastic, I couldn't deny that. You could also play the original theme Paragon if you wanted to. You may have noticed on a select few machines that there were scores to beat where you could win a prize. I tried doing just that with a few of the pinball machines, but with little success. But I did discover some good pins through it. I went back to the Big Lebowski where me and friends figured out the strategy to get a perfect 300, and we took our scores to the appropriate dealers and earned some 98 KUPD merchandise. There's even more stuff happening outside the festival area. We were of course all set up, ready to greet all potential pinball goers with all sorts of merch, goodies, and additional information about those that made the event possible. Project Pinball was raffling off this beautiful F-14 pinball machine, and a couple other vendors set up shop to sell some stuff, including Moto with his sand-etched glassware that we always enjoy seeing. Venturing back in, there's even more competition to be had around the festival. Player One Arcade was hosting a kids pinball tournament. There was also a pin golf tourney going on if that struck your fancy. And in between the main tournament, Bells and Chimes was able to hold their own, so all female pinball wizards got a chance to shine. Of course, an event like this is more fun when you have friends around to enjoy it with you. And that's what happened as many regulars came out to enjoy the festivities, including friends of mine who don't play pinball all that often. Most if not all Starfighter staff were present. It was all hands on deck for this event. It was a fun environment to be around, though there was one presence that was greatly missed. We wish you were here, Buff. On the final day of the festival, the field of 100 players in the main tournament was down to the final few. The finals were broadcasted live thanks to AZ Webcasting, and the competition was fierce and the scores were high. Once the scores were tallied, the winners were announced in every bracket. A huge congratulations to them and special thanks to those that played, and we opened the play area for regular patrons to try the machines the pros played. As the lights came on, it brings the first Starfighters Pinball Festival to a close. But we hope all that attended enjoyed their time, and if you weren't able to make it this year, well, mark those calendars for 2023. On behalf of the Starfighter staff, I'm Jake Ross. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you back at the arcade. Hey Dave, how are you?
Good, man. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what's not here today?
No, who's not here today?
Jody.
Jody?
What the hell, Jody?